Hey guys, this is Diana with the next installment of our Freshies making video. Today I'm going to be working on coloring the beads. So to start off, I thought I'd kind of go simple and do some liquid candle dye. So today I'm going to be using this liquid. This is just something I picked up off of AliExpress just because it was a cheaper dye, had some really good reviews, and I wanted just a little bit to play with before I went all out and bought these big bottles of dye and everything. Okay, so just open up our beads. Now with liquid, there are a few different ways you can color your beads. You can either add it to your fragrance in the very beginning when you're mixing everything. That way it becomes more of an even color all the way through. Or you can do like I do and put it in after they've cured. I like doing it this way because I like seeing the different hues and saturations that happen once it kind of starts coloring. To me, it gives an extra little effect that I absolutely adore. And I'll show you guys what I mean here in just a moment. So just open up our bottle here. And you really only need a few drops to start with because this stuff can be really potent depending on the color. So I'll just do a few here. So 1, 2, 3, I'll do 4 to start with. And then you just put your lid on and give it a good shake. You can kind of see the color starting to disperse throughout the jar. And just keep on shaking. It's a good cardio workout. Okay, so this one is pretty much well mixed. It didn't really give me the multi-toned color effect that I was thinking it would. It actually went really even, which is actually kind of surprising, to be honest. But either way, I mean, it's still very pretty. I think I may want it just a little bit darker. So I'll go back, add a few more drops here. Add another 5 drops. Lid on it. Looks nice. Okay, so about, I'd say 70% of my Freshies are made using Mica. I adore using Mica because I can mix and match different colors to get the exact effect that I want. So today I'm going to be working on a black cherry fragrance. So I want kind of that deeper, darker, reddish purple hue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix a little crimson wine and black night from Woods Goodies, along with a little bit of black raspberry shimmer from Glitter and Crafts for You. I'm going to kind of take and mix a little of those at a time to kind of see if I can't get the color I want. I'm going to start with 1 scoop. These are 0.15 cc spoons. Now with Mica, a little bit goes a long way. So you don't need a whole bunch to start with. I'm going to do a scoop of each of those. I'm going to close these lids because I am very clumsy and I'd probably end up spilling my Mica all over this table. Now because I only want it to be a little dark, I'm just going to use just a little pinch of my black night here. I'm going to take my stirring stick here, just kind of give it a nice little mix. Stir it up. Okay, that made a really pretty color, but I wanted to go a little bit darker. So let me see here. Let's see if outer space is any darker. It's a little bit darker, so I'm going to try the outer space. Take just a little scoop, add it in there, and give it another mix. With the black, I want to add very slowly because you know how easily black can take over a color. So I'm just going to add little bits at a time until I get the shade that I want. Okay, I think that's really pretty. So now I have this nice little red, dark red purplish color. Now we're going to do the exact same thing we did before. We're just going to add it to our beads and give it a good shake. Close these up. Move all my materials out of the way. Grab my beads. Just dump it right on in there. Honestly, I probably dumped a little much in there, so I don't know if I can take any of that out. There we go. So I was able to take about half of it out. That'd be good. Lid back on and give it a shake. You see, mica moves a little quicker than the liquid does. So it'll coat a little faster than that. Oh, bugger, really? Good one, Diana. It could have been worse. It could have gone everywhere. I'd rather lose a few pieces than the whole thing. I'm actually going to go ahead and dump the rest of that back in there just because I think it could use a little more color. That's the thing I do like about micas. You can take some out, put some in. They're a little more flexible than the liquid. Alright, after a good shake, you have your color. Now if you look kind of close, you can see the different tones of the purples and reds and everything. And I've also noticed that when micas bake up, they do bake a little, just a little bit darker. So this will turn just a touch darker in the oven. It's beautiful. Now, not all micas will do that. Just the ones that especially if you've got like a darker color in there, like a black or a really dark purple or a dark gray, I've noticed they do get a little bit darker when they bake. So that's just my experience. It could be very different from someone else's, but that's just kind of what I've noticed. Like I said, it's only for the darker colors though. I've got all of this mess here. And when you're coloring your beads, you don't have to make an entire batch the same color. You can make different batches, different colors. So say you wanted to do a sunflower or something like that. So you could take, say, half of this batch here, pour half it into one container and half it into another container. And you can color those two separately and then mix them when you go to bake. There's no rule that says you have to make one batch all one color. I actually just noticed that I colored this one blue when I meant to color this one blue, but that's okay. You know, stuff like that happens. So, I mean, if anything, I guess it would give us a chance to do one more, show you guys another one. So let's see here. All right. So for this one right here, I'm going to go ahead and go with the liquid dye again. Let me find a good color. Okay. Now, these little vials right here I bought from a supplier online that I honestly don't really recommend just because of the incredibly long ship times. It probably took almost a month to get my order, so I don't really recommend them. That's why I'm not saying where I got it from. So you'll just take your dropper, put some in there just like before, just add a few drops. 2, 3, 4. This dye is pretty potent, so I'm not going to use quite as much as I did the other one. Hopefully this one will give me the effect I wanted to show you guys. Lid on, start giving it a shake. Okay, this is actually the effect I was talking about. So you can kind of see how there's some lighter beads, some darker beads, some in between beads. I love this effect. I think it adds a little extra depth to your beads and your coloring, and I think it's just beautiful. And of course, when it bakes up, it almost looks like a watercolor design. I absolutely love it. But yeah, so that was the design that I was talking about before when I was mixing the other color. There we are. And of course, kind of the same with the micas. You can also mix the liquids dyes to get your own colors and whatnot, but with those, I think it's just a little bit harder because of the concentration of the dye. It's hard to see the color you're making until you put it on your beads and you start seeing how they absorb and react and everything. So that's why I like using the micas to mix my own colors. Oh, and just to answer another question, the micas that you see on like Amazon and in Hobby Lobby and Michael's, they are perfectly fine to use. Nothing wrong with them at all. They'll bake up the same as any other ones will. So if you want to just kind of do a quick tester, you have a store near you, you go ahead and go out, grab a few sets and play away. All right, guys, that's it. That's coloring 101. The next video I'll do will be, baking them up and everything, and I'll show you guys the temperatures that I use and the materials I use and all that fun stuff. So I guess stay tuned for the next video. That'll happen in a couple days. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.